Yo, what's up, world? That's Vital Podcast, episode 8. I'm finally back on this thing. Yeah. Yo, so I'm just going to fire off some little bits. All right, my first little bit. It's 2023. It's a new year. And y'all know how every year goes. People have that new year, new me in 2023 kind of mentality going on. You know, for the most part. A lot of times what happens is after that first couple weeks, that energy, that fire, that desire kind of wears off. Okay, I'm going to use the fitness people because that's like one of the number one things people seem to want to do every year. You know, they go into the cycle of, okay, I'm going to get a gym membership. I'm going to be in the gym every day. I'm going to start running. I'm going to do it every day. 3 weeks in or however many weeks. I mean, some people go longer than that. Everything goes haywire. Somebody this year is going to have an imperfect streak, okay? And if the streak gets broken, it's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up about it. You do not have to remind yourself of the fact that for whatever reason the streak got broken, so now you feel like you have an imperfect streak, which leads to an imperfect year. No. Here's the thing about consistency. Consistency has different forms. So yeah, to one person, consistency might look like going every single day, no matter what. Every single day with something. Like that pattern does not change. It's the exact same pattern. But then you've got other patterns like somebody who might be consistent 2 days on, 2 days off, 1 day on, 1 day off, something like that. It's still consistent. It's just, it appears as more of a broken consistency to some. It's perception, but it's still consistent. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still going, even if it's a day on, a day off, or 2 days on, 2 days, there's still a pattern. So there's still a level of consistency there. Whatever the pattern's going to be is up to you to create that pattern. The only way you actually fail is if you decide to quit altogether. So no need in beating yourself up and throwing in the towel this year when the streak is broken. You know, there's different ways to go about creating a consistent pattern. So the first thing I would commission someone to do is just simply discover your pattern. This year, developing willpower and discipline, for some people, that's going to be a battle. Lucky for you, you get to set the tone for that battle by simply establishing your pattern. And here's another thing to keep in mind. Along with consistency, equally as important is intensity. You know, the amount of intensity that you put on what it is you do. Because intensity can be your best friend. It can be a powerful tool that can produce some measurable results. If you missed a day of running, for example, and you normally run, 2 miles. You run, and after a quarter of a mile, you take a break. You start walking. And then you pick up the pace again at a half a mile and try and complete the full mile. You might take a break after the mile's complete. Now to kind of up the ante and add some intensity, instead of taking those breaks, just run that mile straight. Now here's the thing. This is what's gonna make it a little easier. You don't have to run full speed. Just run a nice light jog to where your blood is still flowing consistently the entire time, to where your heart rate is up consistently the entire time. And the intensity is in the fact that you're doing it non-stop, but you're not killing yourself. You're not because you've been running dumb fast the entire time. You know what I'm saying? You're running at a nice pace, but you're consistent with that run. I say all that to say, if you happen to break your consistency this year, just put a little more intensity on it the next time you get back to it, whether it be the workout, whether it be the run, whatever it is, the diet, you know what I mean? Put a little more intensity on it. You'll feel the feeling of progress. Like, you know what? I missed a couple days, but you know what? I went to the gym today and I put that work in and I feel damn good about it. Or, yeah, I fricked up and ate me a cheeseburger or 2 yesterday, but you know what? I sucked it up. I ain't eat till 11 o'clock. I did an intermittent fast. I ate a kale salad. I ate tuna fish. Whatever. I don't know. People get so down about, damn, I wasn't 100% consistent this year. That's setting the bar too high. If once you break your cycle, that's a deal breaker for you. That's setting the bar way too high. Like you gotta bring that thing down. You gotta take baby steps. In your baby steps, you still want to make progress. So that's why I say, look, consistency is a beautiful thing. But just like your parents, it took 2 of your parents to make you. It wasn't just one of your parents. Depending on the type of home you grew up in, some of you spent quality time with one at times. You spent quality time with the other at times. During that quality time, you picked up traits or habits. So what might help somebody, on days you can maintain consistency, maintain that consistency. On days you can't maintain that consistency, that's all right. Be truthful to yourself, be honest with yourself, and just put a little more intensity on it, because you have it in you to put some more intensity on it. All you got to do to be intense is just add one more, one more rep, one more minute, one more podcast episode. Shoot, whatever it is, just, do what you do. Add one more, but don't stop there. Let that one more multiply. So the first day, fine, it's one more, but then the second day you add 2. The third day you add 4. Put some more resistance on. If it's running, you want to add, you might want to add an extra mile or add an extra few more minutes, extra practice, some extra time, spending time with the music to learn and master the piece. Whatever it is, continue to add more and don't lie to yourself and say, oh, well, nah, I can't do it today just because you don't feel like it. I mean, now granted, some days you aren't going to feel like it, but you could do a little more than you're doing. For the average, capable, able-bodied individual, you could do more. You know who you are. People have this nasty habit of being lenient when it comes to themselves, but they'll be aggressive towards everyone else. And in doing so, they miss the fact that the level of truth you, the individual, functions at determines the outcome of your circumstances. You can't sit there and focus on somebody else's life more than your own. You'll sit there and become bitter. Behold the standpoint of the bitter spectator. All right, just for a quick second. All right, they're riding in the car. They're not driving because they're the spectator. So they're sitting there in a car that they chose to ride in, and they're just looking at the car in front of them. They're not driving. They're in the passenger seat. All right. So they have the opportunity to look out the window, to see, to sightsee. When you drive and you see, beautiful houses, you see, if you're taking a road trip, you might see billboards, you might see attraction. You got all these sights you can take in, and instead of taking in the sights and the beauty of the sights and just enjoying the ride, they're sitting there pissed off in silence because the driver's not driving the way that they'd like for the driver to be driving. It's like, you got 2 options. You either go find another driver, get another car, or drive the car yourself. Like, how you gonna choose to take a journey as a passenger but then complain, because you want the rights or you want the benefits of being the driver? Hey, side note, what annoys me? And this is probably another podcast topic, but having conversations with people, trying to get them encouraged and telling them about some of the stuff I listen to, like the motivational videos, and I tell them, this is like, man, I listen to this stuff every day. Somebody will say to me, oh yeah, me too. And yeah, I listen to that. No, you don't listen to it every day. You've listened to it before, but you don't listen to it every day, because if you listen to it every day, you wouldn't complain so much. If you listen to it every day, you'd have a lot more willpower than you currently have. I'm only saying this for people that I know. If you listen to it every day, your life would be measurably different. You wouldn't be so bitter and so miserable. So don't tell me you listen to it every day just because you listen to it one time. Now you develop this belief that, oh, I already know that, so I don't need to hear it again. It's ingrained in my mind. That's like somebody exercising one time and feeling good off that one exercise and saying, oh yeah, I'm ready for Olympia competition. Like, no, man, you got to do this every single day. Motivation is not something that you get it one time and it sticks with you for life or for the next 30 days. Like I said, that's another podcast. All right, I'm gonna keep going. All right, so briefly, I want to touch on something else right quick, and I may circle back to some of the stuff I said, but right now I feel like I'm really warmed up and ready to go. So it's easy to slip into bending over backwards for everybody else and always doing for everybody else. It's easy to have good credit in that area. It's also, it's easy for some to have good credit in the area of finances. It's easy for people to have good credit in the area of fitness. It's easy for people to have good credit in the area of diet. It can be reasonably easy for people to maintain a good bill of credit in all these areas, but I'm just going to speak for myself. I don't know about anybody else, but as it pertains to me, all right, and I might be talking to a different group now. When it comes to the area of maintaining good credit with myself, to maintain good credit with myself, my best friend and I discussed this a couple weeks ago. We were talking and my boy was like, yo, man, one of the things that often goes unseen and unrecognized by us as individuals is that maintaining a good rapport with ourselves, or maintaining good credit with ourselves and with our word to ourselves, is equally as important as credit in any other area. Like, that's me. I don't always keep my word to myself. I told myself last year, 2022, that was going to be a sabbatical year for me. And I did. It was a sabbatical year, but it was only partial. I started the podcast and it was it was exciting at first, but then it became work. You know what I mean? And a funny story, the reason like why I jumped into it as fast as I did, when my boy and I was planning and we was trying to come up with a name for it, he was like, you know how people do when they're planning stuff. Anybody who's ever planned anything, you know, you got these ideas, and it's like the first idea is like, nah, it's alright, but it ain't really, you know, second idea is, I could dig it, I could kind of dig it, you know, and then you kind of like, sometimes you might kind of settle on that second idea, like, all right, yeah, I think we'll roll with that. But then sometimes, like, given more time, an even better idea will come. So, yeah, we was planning, and my boy was just like, yo, why don't you just call that joint That's Vital? You know what I mean? Just give some relevant information. Like, yo, that's vital. I said, yo, I like that. Yo, I'm freaking with that. I like that. All right, let me make sure no one's copped that title. Yeah, so I had to have that name before somebody else got it. So that's why I jumped into it so quick. Like, I was like, yo, frick it. Yo, let's do it. Yo, I got to get that joint. And then he created a label, and I was like, yo, that joint is tough, yo. All right, that's what it's going to be, yo. That's vital. That's what it's going to be. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'll get more into details in the story, like, later on down the road. You know what I mean? Because we're still kind of in the beginning. This is still startup. Shoot, I had this long break, and I want to develop consistency this year. Every week putting out something on the same day of the week each week. This is a way of me. This is kind of my way of allowing you, the listener, to, when you see me or you don't hear me, to hold me accountable. Like, yo, you said you was going to put something out every week. Where is it? And it's a way for me to hold myself accountable, because when I go back and listen, I'm going to make sure, okay, did I enjoy myself? Matter of fact, in the editing, I'm going to say, okay, did I enjoy this episode? Because I don't want to have no more episodes where I don't enjoy them. Because if I don't enjoy them, how then could I expect another person to enjoy them? So I had to go back in the lab. And that's where I've been. All right. There's the explanation. Like many people, you get stage fright. You get mic shy if you're somebody like myself who's recording a podcast. Whenever you hear your voice, you could get mic shy. You know, and then video is a whole nother game, yo. The first time I attempted to do a video, I wound up doing so many retakes, because I wasn't content with the content I was putting out, or with not even the content I was putting out, but how I looked, because it never occurred to me until it's funny, yo. I had to come to Jesus moment with myself. I had a moment of insight and revelation. I had an epiphany, because I'm like, yo, I'm over here tripping about certain faces I make when I say certain words, or certain gestures I make in correlation. I'm looking at myself and I'm like, damn, that's how I look. The pivotal moment for me was when I realized, wait a minute, this is you seeing you for the first time through the lens of everyone else who comes into contact with you. So what you're seeing now, this is more than the little 5% that you see in the morning when you go look in the mirror. Because when you go look in the mirror, you're not, repeating every phrase and performing all the gestures that you would when you're speaking to somebody one-on-one, or when you're speaking to a group of people. So it's awkward at first, because you want to make a good impression, you want to look good and everything, but you're questioning yourself, because it's kind of like you get psyched out by the newness of being in this new space, in this new place of, seeing yourself in a sense outside of yourself. It's cringy when I'm seeing it, but to the world, that's how they always see me. I'm just now seeing myself the way that the rest of the world sees me. I'm like, man, there's really no reason to feel embarrassed being on camera. Like, this is how people see you. You know what I mean? This is how people have always seen you. You're just now seeing yourself. And I'm about to wrap this up, yo, because I'm going to get pod fade if I don't. And I also I don't want to jump. I'm jumping back in. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overwork myself because one or two things can happen. Either I can go on a rant about a whole bunch of different things, and yeah, it might sound good to some, but it might not sound good to all, or I will completely pod fade and just start talking random BS. So before any of that happens, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to come back next week, hopefully sooner than later. And yeah, that's all I got.